start of the women's 60 metres. Good evening, I'm Martin Gillingham. Alongside me, Tim Capel. I'll take you through this first heat.
Thank you very much, Martin. As you can see, we're just going through the lineup here, beginning with Kate Hall down there in lane 2. Looking out for Asher Phillip, going for Great Britain in lane 5. And the European indoor champion back in 2012, has been on the scene for a long time. Really successful career. A multiple medal winner in relays down the years. Elsewhere, Elise Maris of Belgium, another national indoor champion, Ayude of Ivory Coast, and Mihalis of Slovenia in 6, Veve in lane 7 of Belgium, and Tamara Deleuze of Brazil in lane 8, or in the under-20 championships not long ago. So away that, not first time, and not a particularly good angle to see, so we'll need a front-on view of that to see who just moved in the blocks here. Ooh, it's lane 6. Looks like Mihalis of Slovenia. Don't think it was Asher Phillip of Great Britain. It was alongside of it, so we will just wait for confirmation of who has transgressed in the first event. Good crowd inside here tonight, by the way.
So we'll now turn to the pole vault, just getting underway. Here's Mathieu Collet, first attempt at 5 meters 40, and the Frenchman rattles the bar and it comes off. Well, just to give you some sort of idea of the athletes who are here tonight, we've got the Olympic champion Tiago Braz of Brazil. We've got Sam Kendricks, the world champion. Armand Duplantis, the man of the moment.
So ready to go again then, with the Hall in 2. Maris of Belgium in 3, Ayude of the Côte d'Ivoire in 4, Asher Phillip in 5, Mihalis of Slovenia in 6, Veve of Belgium in 7, and Deleuze of Brazil in 8. Good start by Mihalis. Hall is going well out there in lane 2, but coming through in lane 4, it's Ayude of the Côte d'Ivoire who takes it in 7.18 seconds. Not a particularly fast time. Ayude didn't get the best start, but she really did power her way through there in the end. Hall of the USA was strong in the first 20-30 meters, but began to fade. Asher Phillip alongside of Ayude was trying to keep up, but in the end it was the athlete from the Côte d'Ivoire who will take this. 2 heats, remember, and 1 final to come a little bit later on.
Yes, well, there'll be no problems there for Asher Phillip, who came through in 2nd place. She will qualify for the final later on in the programme. That women's final due off at 9:05 local time. That's 8:05 in the United Kingdom, so in around about 75 minutes or so. Phillip got a decent start, but Ayude running well within herself. Finished 2nd in Glasgow on Saturday, so it's quite a quick turnaround for these women.
Hugely experienced.
I'm sorry about that.
Sorry, mate.
What should have been the focus of the season, the World Indoor Championships, now postponed for 12 months, which for some of the athletes has impacted on their focus over the course of a few weeks, but I guess in its own way it just raises the profile of meetings like this.
There you go, confirmation of the victory there for Ayude. Of course, is been on the scene as well, a long, long time. I've seen her back in the World Championships. She was a silver medalist back in 2013 in the 100 and 200 meters. So, been competing at the top level for a long time, so she makes the final.
Here is Rutger Coppola, the Dutchman, his first attempt at 5 meters 40. If you were watching our coverage of the Dusseldorf meeting a couple of weeks ago, you'll have seen Coppola involved. That was where Mondo Duplantis rather trailed what has followed by coming very close to breaking the world record, which he duly did in his next 2 outings. Coppola with a failure there. First attempt at 5 meters 40. If you just look back at the meeting records here in Lievin, you get a sense of the history of this place. Yes, Coppola has just got to adjust the depth of the jump, if you know what I mean. It's not the high point that's a problem there, just the fact it came down on the bar. Talking about those meeting records, the likes of Irina Privalova. She holds the meeting record at 60 meters. Frank Fredericks, the 200 meters. Mehdi Bala, a Frenchman who holds a meet record at 1,000 meters. The 1,000 is the event which rounds off the program this evening. Also the likes of Javier Sotomayor, who once cleared 2:38 here in the high jump.
Recall of Great Britain, first attempt then at 5 meters and 40. And didn't get that right. Well, one of the most looked forward to events this. We've been watching the build-up here. And the crowd being introduced to all of these athletes. The pole vaulters getting a great reception in here. Back there we go to the 60 meters and heat number 2 for the women.
Yes, look out for Gina Bass here of Gambia. She was the winner in Dusseldorf a couple of weeks ago. There she is. Relatively slight physically. Explosive athlete though, alongside Alia Del Ponte, who also impressed in Dusseldorf. Tania Gaither of Bahamas, she goes in lane 6. So let's go through the full lineup. From the inside, Baseman of Israel, Sido of Netherlands, Bass of Gambia, Del Ponte of Switzerland, Gaither of Bahamas, Dupuy of Belgium, and Buxa of Latvia, although Buxa has not appeared, so she is not running here. First 2 and 3 fastest losers will go through to the final in a little over an hour. The athlete to watch without a doubt. They're wearing the blue colours. 3 from the top. Gina Bass. She ran 7.16 in winning in Dusseldorf.
Right.
Good clean start there. Bass well into a running. Bass with Sido, also Weisman on the far side. But it is the athlete from Gambia who runs away with that. 7.18, that's pretty quick. And that suggests that the track here is on the quick side. Certainly when we look at track and field, and I know there's been a lot of publicity in recent months about advances in shoe technology and whether it may be or maybe not, it extends beyond the lines of legality. But in terms of equipment that really has improved over the course of 3 or 4 decades, indoor facilities, particularly the 200-meter oval, but also the 60-meter strip down the centre. Bass running away with that. Del Ponte to her right, our left as you look. So here are those results. Bass 7.18, Sido of the Netherlands 7.30, and Del Ponte of Switzerland coming through in third, 7.32.
Sent back to the pole vault here and cleared her first attempt and did it with relative ease and comfort. Lovely, smooth technique from the Frenchman to clear at 5 meters and 40. And how much clearance did he have there? Never looked stressed, always looked in total control here. And eases himself over with plenty to spare.
Here's one of the global champions we have in the vault, Pavel Wojciechowski. Won that title 9 years ago in Daegu. And Wojciechowski turning the clock back, albeit at a relatively low height. Looks rather underwhelmed with that. Certainly a man is capable of going well higher than that, as those images do suggest. The Daegu World Championships, perhaps most famous, or dare I say infamous, is that the right word? So that was the day, or those were the championships, when Usain Bolt was disqualified in the 100-meter final. Here is Sam Kendricks, and over 6 meters in another part of France in the last couple of weeks, showing that sort of form. At this time of year, he won't be that concerned being overshadowed by Armand Duplantis. For all the world's best, it's about timing that peak for the middle of the Northern Hemisphere summer. Getting to Tokyo, to the Olympic Games. Sam Kendricks, who will go there, I guess it would be fair to say, not necessarily with the favourites chance, but certainly one of the hot contenders for the title. So a rather jazzy introduction for the women. Elena Isinbayeva, who jumped 4:89 here. Elena Isinbayeva has been making a few headlines over the course of the last week, doing something to do with helping rewrite the constitution in Russia. I don't know if you read about that.
She's been pretty much making
down, can you?
headlines for what the majority of her career. I mean, she made the event glamorous, didn't she? Remember the. Yes. I remember Stacey Dragila, and she back in what was it was in Athens, wasn't it, back in 2004? Great battle that they had between the two of them, and continue to do so over the years. She used to just, so they used to say, just edge those world records up by a centimeter at a time.
So Ninon Guillaume-Gomra jumped 4:66 this winter. Angelica Bengtsson of Sweden, 4:81 at her best, has yet to reach those heights this winter. Lisa Newman of Canada, who were, by the way, supposed to be seeing Shaughnessy Barber here tonight in the men's competition, but he has withdrawn. And here is the marquee performer, Sandy Morris, 4:91 already this winter.
So on to the men's 60 meters.
So let's go through the list, shall we? Nesta Carter is here in lane 1. Jeff Demps of the United States there in 2, alongside Emre Barnes, the former Jamaican, now representing Turkey. Ronnie Baker of the United States. Christian Coleman, by the way, has been in terrific form already this winter. 6:37 his time, the world leading time. Joris van Gool of the Netherlands is there in lane 5. Remikshu Olszewski was supposed to be in lane 6, but he is now missing. Amari Golotan of France in lane 7. And then on the outside, Takuya Kawakami of Japan. Among the athletes going in the second heat, Demet Kemp of the United States, who finished 4th in the US Championships last weekend. So the first 2, plus fastest losers, 4 of them will go through to the final. Keep an eye out there for Nesta Carter over on the far side, but you can see it is Ronnie Baker of the United States coming through 6.49. That is very lively indeed. Very fast from Ronnie Baker. Make a note of that time. Really is one of the outstanding sprinters in the world at the moment. The young American.
Voilà, on vous l'a présentée tout à l'heure. Elle est avec nous, Sandy Morris, l'une des rares femmes à avoir franchi les 5 mètres. Sandy, welcome back to France. I know you like to jump here. Je sais que tu aimes sauter ici.
I'm so excited to be here. This energy that I'm seeing right now, I'm loving it. And I'm so excited to jump at the same track at the same time with the men. I'm so excited.
Oui, je suis tellement heureuse de sauter ici. C'est un vrai bonheur de revenir une nouvelle fois et surtout de sauter en même temps que les garçons. Voilà, ça va nous faire plein de bonnes choses. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Merci beaucoup. Sandy Morris, je dois applaudir très fort.
Well, Ronnie Baker here. We'll wait for confirmation of that time, but Marvin Bracey, the second fastest in the world at the moment, behind Christian Coleman. Coleman having run 6:37. Bracey has run 6.49 this winter. Demet Kemp, who we'll be seeing in the second heat, has run 6.50. So let's see how that squares up. 6.49, so the joint second fastest in the world this year. I know the year is only a matter of weeks old, so you do.
Second heat, extremely good relay runner for the Bahamas. Gold medal winner in the IWF Relay Championships, and as well, you might have seen him on the Diamond League over the recent years. And there he is. Haven't seen him so much recently, but still a talented performer. Royce of Germany, former national champion at 1 and 200 meters. Third in the 4x100s of the IWF World Relay Championships a couple of years ago. Kemp in the yellow jersey, national indoor champion, won in New York last year. Alongside of him, Volko of Slovakia, European indoor champion from last March, you might remember. Asian champion alongside of him is Taftian of Iran, 5th in the world indoors. There's Volko, we were just talking about. Rodriguez of the USA in the blue alongside of him. World Relay gold medal winner in Doha last year. Lievin of Trinidad and Tobago. He's another Olympic runner of repute. Silver medalist in 2012 at the Olympic Games and gold medalist as part of that winning team back in 2008 in China, in Beijing. So forward to Jacobs of Italy, Royce, Kemp, Volko, Taftian, Rutgers and Lievin. That is the lane order. For a fairly long period of time there. Kemp coming through the middle, looks as if he's in control, and he is Kemp. Well, he might have just been taken on the line there by Volko in 6.60. He was comfortable, knew that he had it in the bag there, just eased up a little bit and let Volko take him on the line. So the Slovakian there, on the under-23, European under-23. 200-meter gold medalist from a few years ago, and another one of the national champion and a European indoor champion from a year ago. So he just nudges it on the line.
Well, Kemp has had that flight across the Atlantic over the course of the last 48 and 72 hours. Maybe that told a little bit there. He seemed to be running just a little bit out of legs towards the end there, but Ronnie Baker, who hasn't had that flight to deal with, having just had to come down from Glasgow where he was an impressive winner at the weekend. Well, on the evidence of those two heats, he promises to be the same again this evening. I must say it was a very impressive performance from Baker in qualifying there, and there you can see those times a good deal slower than Baker's. So we do have that interesting feature. It's very, very busy on the infield this evening with both the men's and women's vault going on simultaneously. And that time we have a failure. So next event on the track will be the women's steeplechase. A select field for this, but I must say again, should be very interesting. Don't often see the steeplechase indoors, but we do have the might of East Africa here.
So let's get the introductions then to the athletes here. This is Winifred Smutini-Yavi, fourth in the World Championships in Doha last year. A big improvement on performance in London in 2017 when she was 8. She is an Asian champion of both 3,000 and 5,000 meters. Alongside of her, Chepngetich of Kenya, Marusa Mismas, the former national champion at 1,500 and 3,000 meters, and indeed 400-meter hurdles, 8 in the European indoors. Mercy Chepkerui is there as well, of Kenya, and Fancy Chorono is making up this field of 5 in the meter champion outdoors. So
see the introduction here of the athletes in the men's triple jump. Donald Scott here going for the United States. Meeting record for this goes all the way back to 1992, so 28 years ago, Leonid Voloshin, when he jumped 17 meters 33. There's Melvin Baffa of France. Has been beyond 17 meters before, but not yet this winter. Pablo Torrijos of Spain. Jean-Marc Pompien of France. Simo Lipsanen of Finland goes here as well. There he is. Lifetime best, just a couple of centimeters shy of 17. Azim Baebayev of Azerbaijan is here. There's the Cuban, Christian Napoles. Just to keep you across events in the United States over the weekend, I can tell you that Donald Scott, there he is, won that title with those marks you saw there, 17 meters 24, a lifetime best set at the weekend in Albuquerque. So representing Burundi, Hugh Fabrice.
Back to the women's 2,000 metres, and Yavi closing down the opening of Fancy Chirono. Really did go off very, very quickly indeed, opened up a 10-12 metre lead, so she has now dropped down. Miss Mass down there, Mercy Chepkurui, Winifred Mutile there as well. Yavi then and Miss Mass.
You could see she just got into a bit of trouble there. Think that she thought she saw the stride for a moment, then had to chop in just a little bit. Here goes Mondo Duplantis coming in at 5 meters 60, and rather predictably just sailing clear. Fatigue, I would have thought, is bound to be a factor just a little bit tonight after his last fortnight.
The adrenaline, though, Martin, must still be pumping after that performance at the weekend, and carrying that forward in this an Olympic year as well. Everything laid out in front of him.
Yes, I remember reading a few lines from the late Ron Clark a number of years ago when he went through a remarkable run of breaking records. I mean, we're talking now more than 50 years ago, and I think at one point, and there are one or two statisticians out there who will remember this accurately, but he broke something like 3 world records in 5 days or something. And he just said that when you're in that sort of form and you're breaking those sort of records, you may collapse into a bit of a heap at the end of it all, but there's no doubt that the momentum that it creates, and as you say, the adrenaline just takes you from one performance to another when you are in that sort of physical shape.
2 to go, as you can see, Yavi still holding the lead. From Miss Mass has been right on her shoulder for the past 3.5 laps here. The rest of the fields are out of it. So, has Yavi enough in reserve here? Has she used up too much? Miss Mass looks perfectly poised there. Yavi, though, comfortably clear. Coming up to the bell, then Yavi just extends her stride, just try to break the resistance of Miss Mass, but she's sticking with her. But Yavi does look in control here as she comes down the back straight, easing into that, and then she chopped her stride. Miss Mass is going to take her there. It was a poor jump. Miss Mass saw her opportunity and she took it. She did look in control then, but she's given it away. And Miss Mass off the back bend into the home straight. Yavi will give it one more last go, but as they clear the last barrier, Miss Mass took advantage of a real error there by Yavi. She did look as if she had everything under control then, Martin, but then that penultimate barrier. For some reason, she just suddenly stiffened up.
Well, there's no doubt that Marissa Mishmash ran a very intelligent race, just running in the slipstream of Yavi and waited to strike at the moment that was intended. And it is amazing just how much taller those barriers do get in your mind's eye, the more fatigued you get.
Well, that'll be a disappointment. The athlete who made it all the way into the finals of the World Athletics Championships last year in Doha, where she finished just outside of the medals. But happy moment. Still had enough there left in reserve to take advantage of the error. And there was no way back for Yavi after that.
So fine victory there for the Slovenian in what is a very rarely run event. Winning time 5:47.79.
When you came here, c'était l'objectif.
Sandy Morris. This is a second attempt at 4.78 meters. Oh, when she's caught it on the way down. So the recently crowned US champion. Again, I know it's rather easy to make excuses, but entirely understandable. The athletes do make the decision to come over here, of course, but it has been a long old flight from the other side of the States. So some way short of her form from the US champs, and still some way short of the meeting record. Third attempt here at 4.78 for Angelica Bengtsson. It'll be quite a scalp if she can beat Sandy Morris here. At the moment, though, all she will have in her sights is going clear here with her third and final attempt. No, she's not going to do it. Sneaked over 4.73 at the third attempt, and now 3 failures at 4.78.
Sam Kendricks gave it everything, but he's come up short here. It's not quite his night. The bar 5.95 meters.
So Morris with her third and final attempt at 4 meters 78. Oh, she's done it. That's where the competitor comes out in it. There's no doubt she will be fatigued, but she's over at 478. Below her own par at the moment, but that'll mean a lot. She's pulled out a winning vault there, or what should be a winning vault, at a time when maybe she was feeling that one or two things were against her.
Well, here we are then, the men's final, and is it, Martin, just going to be about who comes second here to Baker in lane 3? There's Michael Rogers in 2. Alongside of him, there he is, the race favourite here, Ronnie Baker. 6.51 in the opening heat. Kemp in 4. Volko just beat him right on the line, actually, in his heat. And there's Jeff Demps of the USA.
Certainly will be interesting to see what Ronnie Baker can do here. He won in Glasgow at the weekend, 6.50. Now compare that with the achievements of Christian Coleman over on the other side of the Atlantic, 6.37 to win the US title, the fastest time in the world so far in 2020. On the evidence, though, of what we saw in qualifying earlier, Baker may just have a little bit more beneath the bonnet to deliver.
Set.
Well, there go. Kemp got a good start. Alongside him, though, Baker is digging in. Baker's coming through. Baker's going to take this. Baker on the line. It takes it from Kemp. 6.44. New meeting record down there as well. He had a bit of company for about 30 meters there, but in the end, he just had too much for Kemp alongside him.
Yeah, the 27-year-old meeting record. Bruni Suran of Canada. One of the outstanding sprinters of his particular era. Well, Ronnie Baker, 6.44. Attribute that to the surface here, almost as much as it is to the achievements of that fella. He is quick. We saw that in Glasgow at the weekend. We've seen that reinforced tonight on the other side of La Manche, here in Lievin. And 6.44. Very lively indeed. I'm not convinced he got the best start. 6 meters and 7, Armand Duplantis. A mere 6.07. He's just warming up, isn't he? It appears so.
Oh, look at that.
So easy.
Brilliant.
There is no ceiling to this man's world at the moment. Could we see another world record tonight? You don't want to tempt fate. It's an obvious line, but on the evidence of that, there is no sense at all that he's either tiring or slacking off. Zango. Oh, and He just collapsed on that second phase, just a little bit, I think. It's certainly the best treble jump competition I think we've ever seen in this venue. Leonid Voloshin, the Russians, 1992, his meet record, 17 meters 33, 28 years ago.
Of USA feeding on the atmosphere that is being produced by this crowd, but not this time.
So Chris Bannard. I'll try and compare the sort of dynamism that we saw there with that of Fabrice Zango. Very good technician, but not, I think it's fair to say, in quite the same class as the Burundi athlete.
I suppose one of the questions you could ask about Duplantis at this particular moment in the season, to hit this type of form this early in the season, the question will be raised, I suppose, that he might be peaking a little bit too early.
Well, I mean, if you are trying to take a slightly dim view, or maybe a pessimistic view, would be the more appropriate line of somebody who seems to break a record every time he puts his spikes on his feet, then you may well have a point. But I must say, if there's one athlete I would like to be in the shoes of at the moment in world athletics, it is Armand Duplantis. Now, it may well be the middle of February, but I would take it.
Pompiat, Jean-Marc Pompiat, with his fifth attempt here. Still got 5 track events left to come in this meeting here before we conclude. So the crowd are with him. Can he deliver here, Jean-Marc Pompiat? Well, no is the answer. Look at disappointment as he turns to walk away. So here we get them with the women's 1500 meters. Again, you said it. It's going to be a night for sharp elbows. This is again another very, very crowded field indeed.
Yes, I mean, in the perfect world, I mean, track and field is not a contact sport, but let's get into the real world, shall we? And as we saw in that men's 800 meters, when athletes are starting to tire, when they're scrambling for position, trying to get to the inside of the track, maybe at the bell, and also, I think more pertinently, right at the start of races, there is no doubt there is a physical element to racing.
Reece Stafford of Canada, who was the national 1500 meter champion. Zayum of Ethiopia was 8th in the Olympic Games back in Brazil. Rafi inside of her from Morocco, who has appeared in the finals of the last 3 World Athletics Championships, 4th, 7th and 8th. Then what type of race are we going to get? And you can see already getting physical right on the first bend as the athletes fight for position, fight for a little bit of space. Hailu and Kiplunga are the two pacemakers out there making the early running.
Well, they are going off incredibly fast. Did you notice that the official right at the start, just going down the line, he was checking that there was not a single toe on the line. Pedantry, perhaps, but I quite like that. Track and field is all about precision in every way. Not just the athletes in terms of their preparations, but also the officials in the way that they govern the sport. Good to see it. So 6 meters 19. The significance of that height, of course, that would represent another world record. 6:14, Sergei Bubka set here. At the time, it was a world record 27 years ago under this same roof.
Back to the women's 1500. Still Hailu and Kiplunga, the two pacemakers out there. Tsegai of Ethiopia sitting in there in third place. Hailu inside of quite wide open here. Seyum has now moved there, you can see, into fourth place.
Yes, another athlete whose reputation sits in the pantheon of middle distance greats, particularly indoors. Gabriela Szabo, the Romanian, holds the meet record here. 4:03.42, 19 years ago. She also holds the record at the 2000 and the 3000 here. So this was certainly one of her favourite venues.
Well, it's still the pacemaker there, Kiplunga, who is leading Tsegai and Seyum.
Compare the strides, though, the athlete out in front and the pacemaker with the leading athlete in the race proper. Sergei up on her toes. Duplantis just getting himself into the right mode, putting on his jumping face. He wants to break another world record. That's how much it would mean if he could do it.
Also, the race then between Tsegai and Seyum is going to take the lead here.
Well, there's no doubt that Sergei, there's pain etched across her face. She's just sitting in behind Hailu there.
Seyum Hailu. Seyum Hailu then takes it in the, takes the belt in the lead. Tsegai just sitting on her shoulder, waiting, biding her time. Has she got anything left? Yes, she has. Coming down the back straight.
0:61. That has smashed the meeting record. Left. She ran with real confidence and experience. It was a tremendous effort.
No, she thought she was going to have a real
Right, so here we go. where he can't see the ceiling. He will feel the confidence. He will feel that he's getting better with every competition. Well, decent effort. We know it's just another centimetre.
Now that's quite a big jump, actually, if he's got a white flag for that, over 17 metres. But no, he didn't.
Well, it's another event in which we've seen a meet record tonight. 17 metres 51. So, Sandy Morris. Oh, she's done it. Stunning stuff. Look at that. 4 metres 83 at the second attempt. Next up, I've no doubt, will be a meet record. 4:89, Yelena Isinbayeva. The woman whose reputation almost hangs over every pole vaulter these days. So Zango, he really has kept the crowd on the edge of their seats tonight, and look at that. He's delighted. It's the most muted reaction we've seen from him so far, and I suggest that tells you that he knows he's got it absolutely spot on. Oh, but he's gone into the plaster.
Well, Sandy Morris has been, as she said, reveling in the atmosphere all night here. Crowd have been enjoying her performances and the energy and the enthusiasm that she brings. Everybody is with her here. Now, is there going to be cause for celebration? Not quite.
Do you know what? It wasn't a bad effort, was it? My word.
And again, the smile never leaves her face, does she? Does it? Brushes off that feather, gets back to thinking about how she can make this work. Look at the focus etched on her face. Doesn't blink at all during the course of that entire run down that track. And she was not far away.
.503 would put her alongside Jen Shaw at the top of the world all-time list. rap he gives it on the way down. So close. Close enough to convince you that maybe, just maybe, the final attempt might bring us a third world record from this fella. The consistency of his excellence really is something that will be the envy of all athletes at the moment. Well, let's switch our focus for a moment to the running track down the centre of the arena, the final of men's 60-metre hurdles, and a real chance here of seeing a French winner. Constantino there of Brazil is in lane 1. The American Michael Dixon is in 2. In lane 3, decent running qualifying for this final, Damian Shakir, very experienced athlete from Poland. Here is Pascal Martineau-Lagarde, the European champion from a couple of years ago, twice second in the World Indoor Championships. Orlando Ortega is in lane 5, the Spaniard, perhaps the favourite, certainly for my money, the more impressive of the two qualifiers. Al Juha goes there in lane 6. Milin Trajkovic is in lane 7, the Cypriot, and in lane 8 is the Greek, Konstantinos Doubalidis. So the two favourites in lanes 4 and 5. It's France against Spain. Martineau-Lagarde, twice a world indoor silver medalist. Martineau-Lagarde just showed a little bit in front there of Ortega. Ortega's got quite a bit of work to do, but Martineau-Lagarde has taken it, and taken it in some style. And Ortega, for my money, came through in third place. It was Al Juha, the Kuwaiti, who came through for second place. 7.47. Very quick indeed from Pascal Martineau-Lagarde. World's fastest time this year, Grant Holloway, the American, 7.38.
Well, you were quite right. He didn't get a very good start there, did he, at all, Lagarde? He was a bit slow out of the blocks. It wasn't until the second half of the race that that power just was enough to overcome and just pull himself back into a leading position to take the race in the end.
Yes, he misses out on the meeting record held by Alan Johnson, the multiple world champion. 7.40, which goes back 23 years, but
he was well down the field here, Martin.
Ortega really lost that out of the blocks. Al Juha, good run from him, but Martineau-Lagarde, once he got through the first two barriers, he pretty much had the race won. He's well into his rhythm. He's a fine sprinter. Look there, Ortega. He's straining. He knows he's got to make up ground, and he will be sensing at the moment that's just simply not happening. It goes to show that sprint hurdling is modified sprinting, and Martineau-Lagarde was the best of the sprinters through the first 30 metres of that race.
Well, he said you'd give everything, but you did. I felt really good. He said I felt the race went very quickly in the blink of an eye. After the second hurdle, I managed to get into my stride, and thanks to the crowd as well and everybody around here and my team, thank you very much. It's been awesome. Kenny's just saying, look at the crowd, look how great this is. Thanks for Duplantis as well for coming down here. And let's hope it's going to finish well for him. So thanks to everybody who's come down here tonight and created such a great atmosphere here.
Well, this fella may not have put too many bums on seats, Hugh Zango, but he certainly has produced one of the performances of the night so far. And I think that at the moment, the two jumpers here just trying to resolve who goes first. Armand Duplantis deferring to Zango. So here he goes. Well, it's another good effort, but again, I think it's through the plasticine. Just trying to eke out everything he could there. It's been a fine display. Oh, he's only just over the board that time. He will have felt, though, the tip of his toe in the plasticine. I think there's more raw power than aesthetic beauty about that technique, but my word, isn't it effective?
Sandy Morrison with that look of grim determination across her face. The crowd have been with her all night, and they are not departing yet. She's got everybody behind her here now. Attempt 2 with the bar at 5 meters and 3. Here she goes. Can she clear it? No, she can't. Takes it down on the way up.
Well, she's certainly started looking better the longer and longer this competition has gone on. Was maybe struggling at one or two of the earlier heights, but despite these failures, they've been very credible attempts. .503, it goes without saying, would represent a lifetime best by 3 centimeters. So, final attempt at the world record. 6 meters 19. 6:18 in Glasgow on Saturday. And for the first time in a while, he tastes a little bit of disappointment. A bit too early to suggest that the Midas touch has disappeared, but maybe just for one night.
There will be plenty of perspective there. He's won another event. He's not going to be able to break a world record every time he goes out there, but he looks happy enough with his night's performance here.
The thing is, though, he probably believes he can.
Yeah, he probably is genuinely disappointed here to end the competition like this. Went closer, certainly, with the first 2 attempts. So the 3,000 meters to come next, the 60 meter.
The final meeting in the World Athletics Tour, Madrid.
Stand up, stand up.
Among those going here, the French favourite, Jimmy Gressier. But it is, dare I say, expected to be dominated by athletes, if not of representing these days East African countries, but certainly of East African origin. Behanu Balu, I will point out when we see him. He represents these days Bahrain. You can see him there, 3 from the left, the diminutive figure alongside Aragawi, Behiru Aragawi, The winner recently in Metz when he ran 7:36. There is Value, fourth in that very fine race in Dusseldorf. He's the reigning Asian champion.
On your mark.
So we've got 16 athletes out there again. Perhaps a little bit too big a group, but it certainly will ensure we get a fast pace, because we do have 3 pacemakers. Munir Akbash is the first of those. He's been asked to break 2.5 minutes for the opening kilometre. So there's no doubt that the target here, who knows whether they'll achieve it, but the 21-year-old meeting record, 7:31.25, owned by one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen, Haile Gebrselassie. So it is Akbash out in lead, the French athlete, Pierrick Jocteur, also a Frenchman there in second place. Davis Kiplangat at the moment lying in third, while you can see the Ethiopian who finished second in that very fast 3,000 we saw in Dusseldorf a couple of weeks ago. Wale, who just missed out on the medals in the steeplechase at the World Championships in Doha last year. But there's no doubt that Akbash, following instructions, asked to cover the first kilometre in 2:29. So let's just see how close he is to that. He'll certainly have to be there or thereabouts if this meeting record is to be at all under threat. Gurma, you can see, Lamecha Gurma, the Ethiopian, also among that leading group. And now Kiplangat starting to make a little bit of a move. That's him in third place. He is the third of the pacemakers, as are expected to go through here to the 2/3 point in the race. And it certainly will be absolutely essential that the 3 pacemakers do the job they've been asked to do if the main field here are to stand any chance of running close to 7.5 minutes. Barega, that is he in fourth place, perhaps the race favourite here, who finished second in the World Indoor Championships a couple of years ago at this distance. He won that 3K in Dusseldorf in very fine fashion. Got a tremendous championship pedigree as well, having finished second in the World Championships over 5,000 metres in Doha last year. So there he is wearing the dark colours in fourth place. He's actually leading the race proper. So this is the kilometre point, 2:30.11. So just maybe 3 or 4 metres outside the splits that they were hoping to achieve if they were to place that meeting record of Haile Gebrselassie under threat. It's now Jocteur who has the lead. You have to say Barega is running very, very comfortably indeed. Aragwawi certainly taking very close order. Also Telehun Bekele, it is, wearing the white and the dark colours, but it's Jocteur who has the lead, or it was until he moved to the inside. Kiplangat, the last remaining pacemaker, just being allowed to slip through there by Barega. Kiplangat will need to kick on a little bit here. You can see Bekele there wearing the white and the black. It's Wale, another of the Ethiopians, there at the moment in second place. So it is looking like something of a rerun at the moment of the Dusseldorf race, with Barega leading the race proper. That's him in second place. Wale, now the steeplechase specialist, is there in third as you look now. In fourth is Bekele. The next big split is 2 kilometres, which Kiplangat will be hoping to reach in something like 5 minutes. That'll give these athletes some sort of chance of getting close to 7.5 minutes.
Sandy Morris then. Final attempt for her. Digs into it again. I think she knew the moment she planted the pole that she was not going to get over there this evening. But again, warm appreciation from the crowd. 4:83, her last clearance. again, it has been a tremendously busy period for her. So maybe a little bit of fatigue beginning to creep in here. Gave it her best, but tonight it was not quite to be.
So Kiplangat, you can see, just squeezing every last bit of juice out of his effort as he moves to the inside. 5:05 at 2 kilometers. So perhaps the more realistic target is the fastest time in the world this year, which Barega ran in winning in Dusseldorf, 7:35.71. And it is now Barega who's kicking on ahead. Wiley there in second place. Beckley is in third, but there are still 6 men in with a chance here. All the pacemakers have disappeared. We're coming through now to the last 800 metres. Barega 1, Wiley 2, Beckley 3. The rest of the athletes just clinging on here. You can see Germer coming through there in 4th spot. But Barega is certainly there to be shot at the moment. He has not been headed throughout the race by anybody other than the pacemakers. You can see Badrani also back there. Jimmy Gressier, the best of France, as it were, is well down the field at the moment. Adagawi just moving a little bit wide to keep himself in the race and moving up alongside Beckley. But it is Barega 1. Wiley still looking fairly relaxed there in second place. Beckley showing maybe the first signs of distress. Adagawi, that pronounced forward lean, just moving alongside and onto the shoulder of Germer. But Barega at the moment does look very comfortable indeed. Place, and look at Adagawi, the winner recently in Metz in 7:36. We know he's in fine form, and this is where the kick starts to come, and it 25 certainly in my book would stand. I do wonder, there does appear to be a degree of confusion, because initially the time did come up as low 7:31s, but I don't think that's the case. We'll have to wait. There's a degree of confusion there, but what we certainly know as a fact is that Getnet Wiley, beaten by Salomon Barega in Dusseldorf a couple of weeks ago, has turned around that form and won here in Lievin. Well, Barega saw himself passed by Aragawi, and despite the late rally there, Wiley, who dug as deep as he could, just found enough to get himself across the line.
Still to come, we have the 60-meter hurdle final, which is going to occur any second now. Then we have the 1,000 meters, and that should just wrap things up for tonight. It's been a really good event, this. Brilliant crowd, some memorable performances, meeting records. I mean, everything that you could have asked for here has been delivered. Well, there is Duplantis, the man of the moment. Everybody wants a piece of him. What a year it could potentially be. There's confirmation of the result.
So again, that Wiley, 7:32.80. It isn't a meeting record, I can confirm that. Good old Jimmy Gressier down there in 10th spot. But sweet revenge for Getnet Wiley in that men's 3,000 meters. Let's hear from our two pole vaulters.
This guy does, but you don't wait when you win. It's not easy.
It wasn't meant to be tonight, but it was such a special moment to be attempting it with Mondo. I don't think I'll ever get a chance to experience that again. We got to go to more meets together, because I was hyped up and ready to go, and it was really special. So
Je peux vous dire que c'est quelque chose que j'avais pas encore expérimenté, de pouvoir tenter un record du monde. Je sais pas si je pourrais le refaire encore, en même temps qu'un garçon tente un record du monde, que Mondo le fait. Je sais pas si on pourra le refaire, mais moi ça m'a donné des ailes aujourd'hui. It was great jumps. They were great jumps today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my first attempt is probably the best shot I've ever had at it, and I give that to the amazing crowd here and jumping with Mondo. When one athlete's jumping well, it rubs off on all of us. So.
Effectivement, je dois vous dire que c'était peut-être le meilleur saut que j'ai fait, le premier essai de ma carrière, et je le dois à ce public aujourd'hui qui a été fantastique et qui nous a soutenus comme il a soutenu Mondo et qui a fait vraiment qu'on a eu aujourd'hui une compétition fantastique. Mondo, what I like is you put everybody standing up. This was your idea. How did it come? Comment c'est venu que tu as demandé à tout le monde de se lever?
I thrive off the crowd's energy, and when the crowd's giving me more energy, I'm going to put more energy into them. So, you know, I want everybody to get up, I want everybody loud, and y'all were really great at doing that. So I really appreciate y'all today because y'all brought great energy. Yeah.
Je peux vous dire une chose, c'est que lorsque moi je sens que vous êtes là, vous êtes vraiment avec moi, et c'est pour ça que je vous ai demandé de le faire, ça me donne une énergie extraordinaire. Vous avez été fantastique ce soir. Vraiment, bravo, félicitations à vous. We thought it would be easy to break world record, but it's not. Tell us. Dis-nous que c'est pas facile de battre un record du monde.
You said it's not. But, you know, what y'all witnessed today was really special. You look left, world record attempt. You look right, world record attempt. And I think that's a really special thing that I don't think many people in this crowd are going to witness ever again. So I appreciate all y'all's support today and everything y'all brought today. And, you know, without y'all, us two wouldn't have been jumping as well as we were today. So thank y'all.
Je peux vous dire une chose, ce qu'on a fait ce soir, je suis pas sûr qu'on puisse le revoir. 2 tentatives de record du monde en même temps, garçons et filles, c'est pas simple. Mais vraiment, encore une fois, bravo. Thank you very much and good luck for both of you. Merci. Voilà, on va les applaudir très fort tous les deux.
Well, they make quite the couple there, Martin. And she did suggest that they go to more meets together.
Yeah, well, it's quite good to see both the men's and the women's competitions happening simultaneously.
A face you will be seeing an awful lot more of in the coming months. Well, the MC has done a great job there tonight as well, whipping this crowd up, getting the atmosphere going. And it's the 60-meter hurdles which is next out on track. Lotte Neziri of Finland in lane 1, and in Bearings of Belgium in 2, Clemens USA in 3. Britain USA in 4. Nia Ali of USA in 5. Hursk of Finland in lane 6. And McReynolds in 7. Gaz of Poland in 8.
On your mark. Set.
Away we go then, and Britton and Clemens getting good starts. Clemens is just edging clear at the moment. Clemens is in, and Nia Ali right on the line there. It was the trio of Americans. Britton just got lost in the middle, but Clemens and Ali, Nia Ali right on the line, may well have got it, did get it, 7.92.
Yes, it was her speed through the second half of the race. Clemens has no doubt got out to the first hurdle ahead, and she led pretty much, I think, to the final barrier. But Ali, who wasn't so quickly and swiftly out of time, the line had come maybe a metre earlier, it might have been different.
I mean, it was a great feel, and it was very high energy in here. Very exciting to run here, get you amped up, so it was fun for me.
Oui, non, effectivement, il y a beaucoup d'énergie, beaucoup de grandes concurrentes, donc c'était fantastique, j'ai pris du plaisir. Sorry for that, but when Mondo and Sandy were attempting records, we had to thank them. Ils ont tenté des records, so it's not easy for the others, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure though. Whenever you see someone attempting a world record, I mean, we're back there in the warm-up and we're checking it out, and we're feeding off of that energy, so I can appreciate that.
Non, ne vous inquiétez pas, on apprécie aussi parce que lorsqu'ils tentent les records, nous on est à l'échauffement, ça nous fait vraiment du bien, ça nous remonte. Merci beaucoup, thank you very much, enjoy.
Merci beaucoup, Lievin.
Voilà, ça c'était sympa.
Well, she said she was amped up, and she gave an amped up performance there to win that 60 metres. Get another look at this. Certainly, Clemens was the smoother of the starters here, and she was in control, Martin, right up until that point there, just past the, what, it was literally after the final hurdle.
Yes, I think it was. I think Ali was building up the momentum, and she will have sensed, I think, with 2 or 3 hurdles to go, that she felt she had the measure of beating the former Miss Manning. And there's no doubt that little extra kick came off that final barrier. Good rhythm sprinting.
Final event of the night then, the men's 1,000 metres. And there is confirmation of the result. Well, as you can see how difficult that was to separate them.
Sont les spectateurs. Vous avez été fabuleux. On a vécu une soirée extraordinaire grâce à vous. Je vous remercie. On vous remercie tous.
So the final event, the men's 1,000 metres, goes off in a couple of moments.
Les autres paroles, ce sera pour les athlètes qui ont été fabuleux. Ils ont tous répondu, présents. Je pense qu'on n'a pas de record du monde ce soir, mais je pense pas faire d'erreur en vous annonçant qu'à mon avis on est
meet director there just thanking the athletes, saying that the athletes have performed very admirably today.
Ce meeting là où il devait être.
Voilà, ça c'est le message à Philippe.
And the meet director saying that after that period when track and field has been away from this venue, that tonight has put it back where it should be. The French athlete here, Pierre-Ambroise Boss, you can see there, 3 from the bottom. He, one of the surprise champions at the World Championships in London back in 2017. There he is, he won the 800-metre title. It was one of the maddest post-race interviews you've ever heard. Euphoria, I think, rather intoxicating him on that evening. It was splendid to watch, not only the race but the post-race interview. And here, Boss, well, he hasn't been in the greatest form recently. He has run 1:47 or so indoors. Doesn't really necessarily suggest that he maybe even is certainly not the favourite to win this 1,000-metre race, let alone take the meeting record, which is held by another very fine French middle distance athlete, Mehdi Bala, 16 years ago, would you believe?
On your marks.
Let's see how Pierre-Ambroise Bosse goes at the moment. He's dropped himself out, which is something he does do every now and again, certainly in the 800 metres. Oh, there he is. Just having slipped to about 4 or 5 off the back, he's accelerated down the back straight and he's now moved into 3rd spot. Hugo Goyes at France is the pacemaker. Girardi at the moment, I think it is there in 2nd place, with Bosse lying in 3rd at the moment. We've got Karl Bebendorf of Germany also towards the 4 at the moment. 5 laps off the track. It's men's 1,000 metres. As you can see, the camera really focusing there on Pierre-Ambroise Bosse. Evans Kipchumba looking fairly strong at the moment in 4th place. Girardi it is, tucked in behind the pacemaker, just in front of Pierre-Ambroise Bosse. So moving now towards the midpoint in the race, that meeting record for the 1,000 metres, 2:17.06. So it is certainly achievable. The pacemaker ensuring that we've got a fairly handsome gallop at the front. And Bosse now just moving onto the shoulder of Girardi. I think we can work on the basis that this race has been pretty much set up for the Frenchman. Not that that necessarily means that he is going to win it, of course. Evans Kipchumba moving strongly there into 2nd place as Girardi starts to fade just a little bit. But it is Bosse 1. Kipchumba is there in 2nd place. And Bosse it is who will take the belt with about a 2-metre lead. Andrew Asagi of Great Britain is running quite nicely here. The Briton moving there into 3rd spot. Very fine 800-metre runner in his own right, Asagi, and showing a fair amount of strength. In the end, some way outside that meet record, but Pierre-Ambroise Bosse just hanging on. Andrew Asagi, I think, has got good reason to be very pleased with himself this evening. He'll be a long way off race sharp, but he showed plenty of strength there. So there it is, the conclusion of the return of athletics to Lievin. The penultimate stop off in the World Athletics Indoor Tour, the 6th of 7 meetings. And I must say, it's great to see this part of France. From coming up for 3 years ago now. The race set up for him. But Andrew Asagi, from a British perspective, an athlete who's had plenty of injuries, but look at him coming now strongly down the home straight there. Certainly the fastest finisher. And the line just coming in time for the Frenchman.
Mes petits nordistes, je vous ai entendu toute la course. Ça n'a pas suffi aujourd'hui. Jamais 203. J'ai couru ici 1000 mètres il y a 2 ans. J'ai loupé le record de France. Aujourd'hui, je loupe le record de France. Mais ça descend.
He said it wasn't
ça veut dire que je reviendrai dans 2 ans.
My best performance, didn't quite make it today, did miss out on breaking the French record, but there we can see the way Pierre-Ambroise Bosse, with his post-race interviews, he is certainly a unique character. The crowd love him in Lievin. He says and promises that he will be back. Well, he's back here with a win. That was good to see. So there it is. The return of track and field to the Pas de Calais. Lievin, like one or two of those other famous European towns which over the years have made themselves known through track and field achievements. I think of the likes of Koblenz, which was such a fine athletic centre, particularly during the 1980s. Winning time for Boss 2:19.26. Asagi, good run in second. So there it is. We will come back in a couple of moments' time with the highlights from this evening. We have seen some stunning competition. We didn't see the world record perhaps we wanted to see, but elsewhere we saw some very fine performances.